Get the cake right to the sight sex. Leave the fire and the roof style stuff. On the grind like we're chasing the stars. From Millmore to Du Valley, we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. From Millmore to Du Valley.
Good evening and welcome to Terrace Talk. Tonight is our first ever Meet the Miller, and today we have got Tom Brown, who's been a miller for 37 years, currently lives in Scotland, but does still come to and attend games, which is a fantastic achievement. So, Tom, tell us about when did you first ever realise you was a miller?
So, I suppose I'm coming 40 next April, and I probably always have been, but I just didn't know it in that sense because me granddad Roland, he was a goalkeeper for like a Rotherham reserve team. They used to call him Rolly the goalie. Roland Cox, my mum's dad. So essentially, my mum and dad weren't massively into football. My dad is now, and he kind of did get into it in the end. But I suppose when I got took, when I was just a young kid, to be honest with you, and I wouldn't say I went to my first game when I was 2, because I didn't. It'd be more like when I was 5, 6 years old. But I think it was always put on me because I have mentioned in the past that my uncle Graham, he runs the Nostalgia Society, and he's got a Facebook page called Miller's Memories, I believe. Oh no, he has, because I'm a member of it, and he is probably the biggest Rotherham fan I've ever known. He used to have the program shop at Millmore. Him and his mate.
I remember that. Because I'm a bit older than you, so I'm 47 now, so I'm 48 coming up. So it's I remember the shop at Millmore. My dad used to go in there often and take me when I was little.
He used to run that. He volunteered in there, but he had every program from ever, to be honest with you, and he still finds gems of stuff now and puts it on Facebook. I mean, he'll be in his mid-60s now, Graham. He lives in Bridlington. He had a hotel, a B&B in Bridlington called, I want to say it was called the Windmill, and it was a Rotherham United B&B in Bridlington. He sold that a few years back, but he's probably the biggest influence, I would say, on Rotherham United within my family. He was married to my mum's sister, and his daughter, actually, Rachel, who was a year younger than me, she's still, I believe, recognised as the youngest ever official Rotherham United supporter. He had her registered as a Rotherham United fan or whatever when she was about 15 minutes old. He wasn't even at the birth. He was waiting for her to get born so he could register her. So
that's mad.
She's now married to a Bradford fan, never mind, but she's still very much a Rotherham fan, I believe. So that's my earliest memories of being a Rotherham fan, to be honest.
Super, yeah. I mean, my dad will probably know him because my dad's a bit like that. He collects a lot of the programs and the badges as well. He still does all that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my dad will have probably heard of him.
It was called Barney. Graham Barnes, or the new one was Barney, but he's still he comes to all the games still, but he lives in Bridlington now, so I've not seen him for a few years, but he was probably the biggest influence Rotherham United wise in my family, basically.
Super. So what was your first ever Rotherham game? Do you recall it? Do you remember it?
I want to say, and I knew that you might ask this, and I was thinking about it the other day. I want to say it was a 1-1 draw with Bury at home, but I can't remember the year. And I remember we were awful. I think it was an own
goal. Changed then, Tom.
I think it was an own goal. I need to research the game, that's probably my earliest memory of being a Rotherham fan. I mean, I always remember. I mean, my era was obviously, let's say, up to 1992. I probably wouldn't know much what was going on, but there was an era, obviously, when we won the Auto Windscreen Shield.
Yeah, I was there that day.
You were there that day.
Yeah, the old Wembley Stadium. Nigel Johnson.
Yep, 2 goals for Gemmo, wasn't it? And I remember my dad actually got. My dad's not from Rotherham originally. He's from Newcastle, but he hasn't got a Geordie accent. He moved to Rotherham because my granddad, who's Scottish, he was like a school governor of some sort. So he happened to be, and there a lot of my family are from Mansfield as well, strangely. So we happened to be there. My dad started to get involved with Rotherham. I remember years ago, they had this thing where you could be a vice president, as it were, but there'd be like 30 of you. And there's a picture somewhere of my dad with his Rotherham tie and obviously all the vice presidents, as it were. This would be when obviously Ken Booth had the club, but they weren't vice presidents. It was just I think you paid X amount a year to be a VP or whatever. And he's got a picture in there. And I want to say, is it Derek Dalton? He was one because he had that clock at Millmore.
Yeah, he had the old clock at Millmore on the
there's a picture of him and my dad. And so I'll need to dig that out somewhere because I'd like to see that again. But going back to that Wembley final, I wasn't there. I was probably a bit too young to go. And Wembley's, it's an expensive day out. I mean, not that we're in poverty or anything like that, but I remember after we won, it must have been on BBC Radio Sheffield, and I rang up Radio Sheffield as like a kid. Was it 95 or 96?
I think it was 96.
It was 96. I think it was 96, wasn't it? And I rang up BBC Radio Sheffield, got on Radio Sheffield, and then I said, "Oh, thanks so much for having me on Hallam FM. Is Hallam FM still a radio channel?" I don't know. They went, "We're not Hallam FM. We're Radio Sheffield." There's such a vivid memory. But like I said, I'd have been 10 years old back then. But I've been to pretty much every other Wembley appearance since. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But that was a big thing back then for our club. It really was. It was our first Wembley visit, and to come away with it.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to I've been to every Wembley appearance that we've done, which is good. The last couple, my son's managed to come with me as well, which is really special. Getting to take him to see Rotherham because I never thought we'd get to Wembley ever.
No,
we had such bad teams back then.
Yes.
So which away day stands out to you out of the whole of the games you've been? Is there any vivid memories of away days that you've been on?
So the best one, to my knowledge, that I can remember, competitive wise, was I was there at Highbury for the Worthington Cup.
Oh, I was there as well.
I'd been maybe 14.
Aaron Byfield, was it?
Byfield.
Yeah.
Byfield. And you got to remember at the time, that Arsenal team, albeit they didn't put the strongest 11 out, they were still a bloody good team. And there's a few things from that game that were quite significant, actually. I think it held the record for a long time for the highest ever penalty shootout in that competition. It was Cesc Fabregas's first ever competitive game.
I remember that.
Professional game. Because there's a picture of him and Paul Warne having a jostle for the ball, which I'm no doubt Fabregas won. But I remember Byfield scoring. I remember Pollitt handballing it outside the area. And when Byfield scored that goal, I remember we played in the and I really liked this strip actually. We were sponsored by T-Mobile, weren't we? It was black and blue stripe.
Yeah.
Byfield scored, and then it went to penalties. And I think Graham Stack was their goalkeeper on the day. But you got to remember that was in Arsenal's Invincibles era time, wasn't it? And I mean, they played Wiltord, Ali Adier, who went on to have a good career. There was some good players in that team. So that's one of them. I went to City away in the FA Cup, and I couldn't help but think, "Wow, these are good."
Yeah, I didn't go to the City one.
Oh God. But yeah, I mean, the Arsenal game does stand out because we went there thinking, there was me and a few of my mates, we're still in school at the time, and it just stands out because we nearly beat them.
I loved Darren Byfield. I did love.
I was class Darren Byfield. I thought it was brilliant. That Millwall away game where he gets the 4 goals is unbelievable. Imagine a player of ours now going away and scoring 4 goals. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, it was against Millwall, that wasn't it? Millwall.
It was against opening day of the season. We were top of the league. We were
5-6-0, was it? On opening day?
6-0. 6-0.
Yeah, I remember that.
6-0.
What's your best ever moment, would you describe as a Rotherham fan? So the one that stands out above all for you?
I was behind the goal when it happened. And a lot of people are going to say Revell at Wembley. I'm not. Alan Lee, Brentford.
Yeah, that's mine. I was on the Tivoli.
I was on the Tivoli, mate. Yeah. And I watched that cut back.
Obviously scored at the railway end.
Yeah.
It seemed to take an age to go over the line.
I know.
And then at the end, I was on the pitch.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I just remember thinking, and it sounds sad now, is that I can't believe we're going to play a league match against sort of Sheffield Wednesday.
I know.
Because I never envisioned it as a Rotherham fan, because back in them days, they were so much better than us.
Yeah.
We were lucky to be in existence at times.
Pretty much.
That team, that day was so special to me, and it'll always be the Alan Lee goal for me. I mean, Alex Revell were brilliant, but it was just, I don't know, there was just something about it. Sent an impossible dream. We were on it.
Yeah.
And it just came to reality, and the realization that you're going to be in the old Division 1, which is now the Championship, was just, I never thought I'd see Rotherham there.
No, same.
So
we were famous to get relegated that season. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
And I mean that I think that was also our best team we ever had.
Yeah.
The previous season when we went to the Championship, the first season, I think if Ken Booth would have backed him, I think we could have got the playoffs. Because
I think it's a different animal now, with the exception of Luton doing what they did. The Championship now, you've got to spend a bit of money to get out of it. Back then, there was fine margins. You could, because there wasn't any social media, and this is one thing I've always said now. The scouting network was nothing like it was now, because everything's done on stats, and you can watch a YouTube clip of a player, blah, blah. Back then, you could literally unearth gems. You really could. Now, if you've not found one, if you get to one, 15 other people have already found it, and then it's a toss-up to who gets them. And I think you're right, Lee. I think if we'd have maybe improved our scouting network and done bits and had, unearthed some, rough diamonds, we could have had a chance, definitely, of getting up there. Because, Barnsley did, Bradford did. Do you know what I mean? It's a shame, really. It is a shame.
I mean, you see now, there's Bournemouth and Brentford. I remember them having points deductions with us.
Absolutely. Bournemouth were on -30, weren't they?
Yeah. So, again, I mean, they're not massive clubs, these, but they've held their own in the Premiership.
I know.
And year upon year, and that's through spending a bit of money. It can be done. Money's the key thing. I don't even think... I think back in the day, it used to be based upon your club size, but Man City have proven it's not based upon club size, because Man City now are probably one of the biggest clubs in the world, but they've got the money, but they're not one of the biggest clubs in the world off the pitch, fan base wise. They can't get close to a team like Manchester United or Liverpool, but because they've got money, they can do it. And that's my thing now. It doesn't matter how big the football club is. Players will come, managers will come if you pay them the money, and you can go as far as you want to go. You've seen with Wrexham, they've gone right from there to the Championship, and if they push on and sort of spend big in the Championship, which they haven't done yet, then I think they'll push on again because you can. With money, you can push on. And that for me is a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree.
So for the best ever moment, Tom, what's been the toughest moment supporting the Millers?
Are you wanting like a one-off moment or a period?
It can be anything. I mean, for me, mine was when we went into administration and we had to move to Don Valley and play in Sheffield.
Yeah, I see that in two ways. The Don Valley era. I see it as it was a means to an end because better things were going to come. And to be fair, it did. And Don Valley, bloody awful.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
But I will say, probably the worst moment. I'm going to go that season under Warney where we get relegated on the final day. That's the worst sort of. It was a gut punch again because it was between Derby and Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, we.
I thought we were too good to go down that season as well.
Yeah, I do, and I think because the amount of games we had postponed because of COVID nonsense meant that we had to play. Did we have to play something daft like 11 games?
Yeah, it was ridiculous, and that relegated it. No two ways about it. And I don't think any club other than Rotherham would have had to have played them games like that.
100%.
If it had been,
they just went, yeah, do it to them.
Yeah. You've seen now with points deduction. I don't think any teams had as many as what we had, and they've committed far worse crimes, really.
Yeah, 100%. So that the worst era period. I want to say the Don Valley one. I'm not going to go with that because although it was crap, I knew that there was sunshine on the horizon because what was going to come. Didn't seem well. We knew that we had a new owner. We knew we were going to get a new stadium, all that sort of jazz. But that season under when we started with Stubbs, that Stubbs season, Jesus Christ, was that the lowest points total ever in the championship?
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah,
that was horrific. So yeah. But yeah, they're probably my worst moments, mate, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie.
So if you could relive one Rotherham match again, what would it be and why?
I would relive the League One playoff final at Wembley. Because the emotions that I went through, that we all went through that day, when they go 2-0 up. I'll tell you what was good about that team, Lee. That happened to us all season.
They never give up, did they?
We'd come back from losing positions constantly. And I knew even at 2-0, I thought, this is just going to be typical. We're going to do this because this is what we've done all year. And lo and behold, we did. And I'll be forever grateful to the mentality of Steve Evans, the mentality of the players in that team that day, and the never say die attitude. That is Rotherham DNA. That was Rotherham DNA that day, and things happen for a reason. And that was just that if I could relive any game, that would be that game, 100%. Because I was with my mates. My brother was about to be 18 the next day. Bus down. Yeah, it was class. It was just a great day. That's my
you'd relive that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Which player do you think over the years never got the credit they deserved?
That's a great question. Credit they deserved. I was going to say Kevin Watson.
That's who I would say. I didn't say him because obviously we're going to go through your team in a minute, but I think the abuse that guy got for being probably one of our best midfielders ever.
Yeah.
The Boo Boys to him exceptionally, and he was an exceptional football player.
He was. He was way above our level.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to Reading, didn't he, afterwards? But I remember at the time, people just weren't having him. And I'm like, are you joking? So, yeah, Kevin Watson, and shout out to Kevin Watson. He went on to have is he still a pundit, Lee? He did a bit.
I think he still does. He does a bit of punditing still, yeah.
So I'm going to say Kev Watson, mate, for me. Yeah, definitely.
And if you could bring one player to the current squad that we've got now from the past, any era, who would you bring back to the current squad?
It's going to have to be a centre-half, mate. And that centre-half will be Chris Swales.
Good player,
I think the squad that we've got at the minute, we need a Chris Swales in that back line. I was going to say Guy Branston just because he was no nonsense, Brano. Do you know what I mean? But I think ability-wise, I would definitely say Swales because he was a leader. He was a leader, and we desperately need players like that.
Yeah, I would say probably like a Tony Grealish or Stuart Talbot. I think
Talbot's another good shout.
Just get stuck in, no nonsense, lead the team, and I think, like you said, I think we are a bit soft.
Yes, massively.
If I'm honest, and I think we do get sort of bullied in games at time.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're going to go on to your best ever Rotherham United 11. So we're going to start with the goalkeeper. So I want you to pick your goalkeeper and give me the reasons why.
It's going to come as no surprise to anybody watching this. You think about goalkeepers we've had over the years: Mike Pollitt, Paul Pettinger. I'm joking. Ian Gray, Rodak, Iverson, Vickers, Martinez. There's one that stands head and shoulders above everybody in my lifetime, and that is Victor Johansson. His shot stopping is probably the best I've ever seen. Ever. He was a really likable character. To be fair to him, he absolutely loved this club and he loved the fans. And the fans reciprocated that and they loved him. I guarantee at the end of his career, somebody could ask him, what football team do you support? And he would say us, I think, personally. He will go on to play at the in a very top league one day. I'm amazed Stoke have kept hold of him. I'm amazed we kept hold of him for as long as we did.
Yeah, I don't think they'll keep hold of him for much longer.
No.
I think he's a Premiership. As soon as we got him, I kind of knew he was way too good for us, and he would just. You could just tell. There's certain players that play for you. Sometimes you can just tell the way to. I remember Martinez would come on loan. Now want to play for Arsenal and Villa.
Won the World Cup.
I can remember us having him on loan and thinking, boy, this guy's going to play in the Premiership. He is that good. And I think Victor falls under that. So I think that's a great choice for your goalkeeper. The next one was a bit of a shock when I saw it. I'm not going to lie. But it's your team. So give us your fullback.
So this guy arguably scored the greatest ever own goal for us. And those people who know, it would be... Some might not remember him, but he made, close to 70 appearances for us. Marvin Bryan.
Marvin Bryan. Yeah, I do remember him.
Look at that shirt.
You remember that shirt? It was a nice shirt, that one.
It was a great shirt. It was a fantastic shirt, that one. 1-1.
So
Yeah.
what did you like about Marvin Bryan then?
I think he was
getting to your best team.
First and foremost, he's a really nice guy, and I struggle to be right back. If we was going to include loans in my lifetime, I would say James Tavernier personally, but
Yeah,
I've decided not to do loan players. So
mine would be Ali Pickering.
Right, okay, that'll be more your kind of.
Yeah. He was, for me, he was he was the best I've seen at Rotherham.
Marvin Bryan, he was just a really nice guy as well. I used to work at the bakery in Morrison's in Bramley when I was younger, 16 maybe. And Marvin Bryan always used to come and have a chat. He knew I was a Rotherham fan, and he was just a good guy. And he scored. He was competent for us, and he was in that team, that Ronnie Moore team. And Moore wouldn't have picked him if he wasn't good enough, I'm sure. So, yeah, Marvin Bryan is my right back of choice.
So your centre backs, will start with, tell me which one. And
I've mentioned him before. Chris Swales goes straight in for me. Absolute leader, warrior. He was a machine. You couldn't hurt him. No nonsense. Proper centre back, and he was an absolute rock. Swalesy. He went on to captain us, I believe, as well. There's a few, that were fantastic over the years as well. Carrie Arneson, Craig Morgan.
I loved Carrie Arneson.
Yeah.
I thought he was quality.
He was a great get for us, but they just missed out because I think this partnership and the second player. I'm sure.
Yeah, it was the partnership, wasn't it?
Yeah. So my other one will be Martin McIntosh.
Yeah, obviously. For me, he could play a bit as well.
He could. He had one hell of a free kick on him. He could smash them like.
Right, he came from Scotland, didn't he? We got him from.
He was on loan. I think he played for either Hibs or Aberdeen, and we had him on loan to start with, but then we signed him. I want to say he was like Hibernian or Aberdeen, one of the two. But he was some player. Him like he could pop up with a goal. He could hit a free kick in, and him and Swales as a partnership, absolute rock solid. We had them two now in this league. We ain't conceded. Simple as that. Them two, 100%.
And then on to your left back. Who did you go with at left back?
I've gone with Hursty, Paul Hurst. Played God knows how many games for the club. Sheffield lad, I believe, wasn't he? Heart
of a lion, though.
One club guy, small, can get up and down that pitch. Came up with the odd goal here and there, the back post. Yeah, Hursty. Yeah, he's just a stalwart. I think I'd be surprised if he's not in everybody's top 11 when we do all these. But hey, look, Hursty's got to go in. I can't say anybody else. There's nobody. I can't see past anybody else at left back.
On to the right wing. Who have you gone with there?
Right wing. It's not a difficult one for me. I've done with a standard 4-4-2 formation, and I've gone with Chris Sedgwick. Sedgy was
gone wild here. It's doing he's disappeared, Chris Sedgwick.
It's all right. Everyone remembers Sedgwick. So I've gone with Chris Sedgwick, some player. When he got that ball on the wing, because back in the day of the good old 4-4-2, you played with your two wingers, didn't you? And get that ball out on the right, Sedgwick would run at the fullback, and the fullback would not know what to do. And what he'd do, he'd create space to get across into that box to one of our boys in the middle. Sedgy, I remember every time he would get that ball, everybody would stand up. And for me, he was first class.
Yeah, I mean, I love Chris Sedgwick. One of my favourite players. Come through the youth academy. And he was just absolutely fantastic. Went on to have a great career at Preston after Rotherham.
He did.
Did play for Sheffield Wednesday, unfortunately.
Is what it is.
Yeah, but I think Sedgwick was a player to get you off your seat. He was, and he could deliver a ball as well.
He could deliver a ball.
I think for me, he was kind of underrated at how good he was at delivery. I think that were underrated part of his game.
I think that's because everybody would compared every single right winger to Beckham at the time, didn't they? It was just
guy. And nobody were putting crosses in like Beckham. So
exactly.
So on to your left wing.
This was a really difficult one because it came down to two players for me: Ogbeni or the player that it's going to be. So Ogbeni, absolutely electric. I couldn't put him at left back because of Hursty. I'm not going to deploy him as a striker. I think he was brilliant. He's gone on to have he's having a great career. He had a really bad knee injury last season, which will have stifled him. But I'm going with the pig killer, Ben Pringle.
He loves killing pigs. He loves killing pigs. That boy Ben Pringle. He loves killing pigs. Yeah, I love Ben Pringle. I think he was absolutely one of the reasons we got to the championship.
He was, mate. He was. He really was, because I mean, he was with us in League Two. And then, he got moved to Fulham in the Championship, didn't he, in the end?
Yeah.
I mean, he was just his left foot was an absolute wand.
I've never seen a player that's played for us with a left foot like that.
It was unreal, man. It was unreal. That game against Preston, was it, in the playoff semis? Them balls he put in for Frex and Wes Thomas. It was just absolute class, man. And he was crossing them. He was crossing them from deep, and he was hitting his man.
The touchline, just put it on a sixpence. And you talk about sort of David Beckham, but if David Beckham was putting them balls in, you know what I mean? If he was that good, Ben Pringle, I think he was another player that kind of got taken for granted, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. It wasn't the quickest. Let's get that right. But it didn't need to be.
With that delivery, you don't need to be, do you?
No, you don't. If you can get a yard of space and ping that ball into that box and hit your man, you don't need to be quick. So yeah, Pringle edges it over Ogbeni for me. Pringle's was also a bit of a character, and now I think. Yeah, and I was at that game. He scored.
He deserves to get in there for the tweet alone that he did against.
Yes, I remember. I was at the game. I was actually at that game. So
mate, I have been every game when we've played Wednesday at Hillsborough. I mean, 2 years in a row, last minute winners. Richie Barker,
Darren Garner.
Darren Garner,
yeah.
Mate, that were pandemonium.
It was. It was.
So you've midfield two. We can't argue with these two, but yeah.
Midfield two, we mentioned him before, Kevin Watson. I thought he was unreal. He assists the goal for Alan Lee for me to have my greatest Rotherham memory. Even the vision to be able to find Alan Lee on the edge of the box for him to turn, shoot and score. Great. So Watson, great player. I think we were very lucky to have a player of his calibre at the time. He would walk into any Rotherham 11 in the past for me. So yeah, it's Watson. And the other guy,
mine, he just missed out. And
did he? Yeah.
I'm a little bit older than you, so I was supporting Rotherham when we had Sean Goodwin.
Yeah, I remember Goodwin. I do remember Goodwin.
And for me, Raggy at the time, how he didn't go on to play in the Premiership, I'll never know. I just thought he was absolutely unbelievable for Rotherham.
Yeah, he was.
I absolutely loved him at the time.
No, I agree.
The next one is another one of my favourite ever players. So tell me who your midfield is.
Another one who signed up to us and then completely respected the fans, loved the badge. It'll be in most people's 11s, I'm sure, is Lee Frecklington.
Yeah.
What a player. What a player. I can't believe we got him. And I can't believe... I think that must be the pull of Steve Evans again. It must be. Has to be.
Yeah, got Peterborough, wasn't it? We got him from. He was on loan initially, wasn't it?
He was on loan, he was. And then, obviously, McAntony and what's his face? I met him a couple of years ago. Barry Fry obviously didn't see anything in him. So, what a player. Their loss was our gain. Absolute leader. Could play anywhere in that midfield, really. He was class. He could score a goal from anywhere as well. He should have played a lot higher as well, in my opinion. But I'm grateful that he played for us, and he makes my all-time Rotherham 11 in my lifetime. Definitely. 100%.
And then your two forwards, who were your two up front? So we'll start with the first one.
So the first one, no surprise, will be Alan Lee, the Galway hitman.
He was another one. Tough start, wasn't it? He was on loan from, was it Burnley?
He was at Burnley, mate. You're correct. Yes.
And I remember him being on loan, and I thought he didn't play very well. He didn't score. And then I think we signed him permanent, and I'm like, why have we signed him permanent? He hadn't scored a goal.
Aye.
But his performances, I think, stood out, didn't they?
Yeah, and Ronnie had a good eye for a player, didn't he?
He did.
Alan Lee, just because you just felt like something was going to happen when he was on. I remember even if he wasn't starting, the whole crowd would start chanting Alan Lee, Alan Lee, and then Ronnie would put him on and then he'd score. So Alan Lee, just for the Brentford goal alone, to be honest with you, but Alan Lee, definitely.
Yeah, went on to Cardiff, made us some good money as well. When he went
He did. He went for about 800 grand, didn't he, or something like that, which was a lot back then.
Yeah, we're nearly $1 million, I think, with the add-ons. But I have never been so upset that we sold a player ever. I think when we lost Alan Lee, I was like depressed. I can remember it. I was so depressed that we sold him, and I felt like that again since we lost Victor.
Yeah.
But obviously that was a kind of inevitable that
it was.
With Victor, but Alan Lee, I thought if we'd have built the team around him, that's when I thought we would get promoted.
Yeah, we could have done. And I think Alan Lee was on the fringes of the Ireland team because Ireland actually had a really good team back in them days. They had like Robbie Keane, Damien Duff, all them sort of players, and he was getting the odd appearance, wasn't he, for Ireland? And I think, obviously, had we kept him, probably could have got more money for him. But look, it is what it is. We were a selling club at the end of the day sometimes, aren't we? Back then we were anyway. So, Alan Lee, without a shadow of a doubt. Honourable mention would be for people like Sean Gota. I did like the GOAT.
Sean Gota was quality.
Yeah. He had a great career in the end. You know, he's probably in City's Hall of Fame, I imagine now. There'll be a lot more to go in it, but I mean, people like him. I actually quite like Leo Fortune West as well, believe it or not.
Yeah, I'll tell you who I used to like, and people laugh, but Tony Cunningham. Tony Cunningham. He just used to score all the time.
Yeah.
And same with Leo Fortune West. I think he ended up in a Cardiff, didn't he? Or did we?
He went somewhere like that, but he wasn't a bad player, Fortune West.
Yeah, but he always used to score, didn't he?
Yeah,
Guarantee Fortune West. He'd come off his shin pad or back of his head, but it always ended up in the net. And I'm like, he looked so awkward as a player. But yeah, he was an absolute great player. So your next one is strike partner. Who you've gone with for the strike partner?
Once again, it's a partnership. Mark Robbins.
Yeah, quality player.
Robbo. He scored nearly a goal every 2 games for us.
I remember him saving Alex Ferguson's job.
Yeah, Norwich against Norwich, wasn't it?
Yeah, scored in cup final. I couldn't believe. I think, you know, when you get excited when you sign a player. I remember getting. You remember the old Rotherham advertiser? Well, I think it's still there, the advertiser. And it used to come out on the Friday, and it was on the back page that we'd sign Mark Robbins, and I was like, wow. This guy's he's played for Man United, and like, he's some, like, Rotherham usually sign players you've never heard of. everybody had heard of Mark Robins.
Everybody
Do you know
had
what I
heard
mean?
of Mark Robins. And I think what I love about Mark Robins, he was a fox in the box. Like, he was small, but he could do anything. He was brilliant at penalties. He great finisher. He knew his positional, his runs. He just had everything about him. And, you know, yeah, he went on to Wednesday, didn't he? But, I mean, look, at the time, Alan Lee, Mark Robins, and then you had obviously Richie Barker as well, who would rotate between those two every so often. I thought, yeah, Robbo for me, definitely. He was a great player, great professional, and yes, 100%. Mark Robins, him and Lee up front.
Super. So, who would you have to manage this team?
Now, this is going to be really controversial because the majority of these players played under one man. However, as I can't split them, and I know that you're going to be doing this with a few other lads, and I know what the majority answer is going to be, I'm going to give a bit of respect to Mr. Steve Evans.
Steve Evans.
There he is.
I love Steve Evans. I mean, I think they always say in football, never go back. And I think this applies to this man. Because I think Ronnie did it as well. He come back. It wasn't the same the second time.
Didn't work, I know.
And this time it hasn't worked, unfortunately, for Steve Evans. But what a legend. I mean, again, I've never really, when we get managers in, the first time we got him, I was excited because I knew he was a winner.
Yeah, definitely. 100% a winner. You can't go wrong with Scottish managers.
No, and obviously I know he divides opinions. Some people love it. He's like Marmite. Some people love him. Some people hate him. But to me, he goes down. And for me, obviously, I would always pick Ronnie Moore as my best ever manager, but he's closely followed second place by Steve Evans.
Yeah.
The football we played under Steve Evans, like you said, was, I mean, Lee Frecklington, players like that were just phenomenal.
Yeah,
Pringle,
it was.
Carrie Arneson, some of the players he brought to this football club. And even now this season, the better players that we've got, Steve Evans signed them, really.
I know he did. I know.
Other than Nombe, which we have to thank Taylor for, to be fair. Cause
yeah, we do. I know.
Taylor signed him.
Yeah, definitely. Evans for me. I mean, like I said, I can't split him and Ronnie, but I know the majority are going to go for Ronnie. So I thought I'd give Evans his due. He's a really top bloke, actually. I've met him, spoke to him. He's a really nice guy. I love Steve. Love Big Steve, and I wish him all the best for the future. Wish some of our fans
doing well with his health, which is
exactly, absolutely.
And like I said, he'll always, in my eyes, be a Rotherham United legend.
100%, 100%. And there's a lot of our fan base that can't stand him, and I think, well, don't support our club, then go away. So, do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Brilliant.
I mean, sometimes, our fans that, surprise me, to be honest. So, from the best manager, who would you say was the worst manager you've ever witnessed as Rotherham United manager? And I'm shocked at this because I would have picked someone different, but you've gone for this guy.
I just think because the mood at the time when this happened, you just knew that it was game over, really. Not game over. I've gone with Kenny Jackett just because he wasn't there very long. He's not. Look, I will say he's not. Kenny Jackett is not a bad manager. I just think that he obviously just decided straight away when he got here, well, this ain't for me. I'm going. So on that basis, I'm going with him. Other mentions are Alan Stubbs.
Yeah,
look, he won a cup with Hibs the previous season. We took him off Hibernian. But he obviously came in with a philosophy of how to play football, which was just not suited to the players that we had. But he did tell, I have heard a story, and you probably heard it as well, Lee, about how our chairman, I don't know if it's true or not, gave it the big licks saying, oh, yeah, go and sign Tom Bradshaw. Yeah. And then the next day rang him and said, oh, don't sign him. We haven't got the money. So
no, it is true. I've actually watched the podcast that Alan was on. So and he were giving it large in the golf club, and actually we didn't have the funds to get him.
Yeah. He was just trying to look flash to his mates. So I mean, I don't want to be unfair. I'm just going on Kenny Jackett because how many games did he do? Was it 2 or 3? If that.
I don't even. Yeah, it may have even been 1. You know, I can't. I just remember him walking out.
He just went,
I believe we had similar with Neil Warnock. You know, so he agreed to stay that second season.
He did.
And then something happened with Tony Stewart with the budget, I believe, and then he didn't end up coming. He said he was going to come, but then obviously something happened, and he didn't end up coming to us in the end.
Yeah, and so like I say, Kenny Jackett is not a bad manager. I'm just thinking of his time at Rotherham. It was a really bad time for us, wasn't it? So I've gone with Kenny Jackett. So,
next one, we've had some bad ones, Tom. So this would have been a difficult pick. But who was your worst ever player as a Rotherham? Watching Rotherham, who was the one that stands the most?
I'm going to go with. There's loads, and I don't want everybody to go for the same player. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to go with Kel Roos, the goalkeeper. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was bad. he was bad. I'll give you that.
He went on to have an all right. He got a move. Went to Derby, didn't he? And started for them, and nearly got into the Prem. But as a goalkeeper, wow! I remember that. It was one of them. You make a mistake, and then you just make another mistake, and then that's your career over at that club. It's just done. So, that's for me.
Yeah, he was bad, really bad. I mean, we've had a lot of sort of bad players. I remember sort of Gisbert Boss.
No, Gisbert Boss,
if you remember him. There was a few really. Steve Cherry, the goalkeeper, he was around.
Right. Steve Cherry, yeah. I will say this though: goalkeeper is the hardest position to play on the pitch. I will say that.
Yeah.
Right, but bloody hell, there's levels to goalkeeping, isn't there?
Andy Haywood, do you remember him?
I do remember Andy Haywood. Yes,
he was poor.
There's a few, and I'm sure a certain somebody with initials DB will get mentioned at some point. But I mean, I'm gonna go. I'm sure Kel's a really nice guy, but just to be fair to him, he did all right at Derby County after that. I don't know where he is now, but sorry, Kel. You're my worst player in my history of Rotherham United for me. Sounds mate.
So on to more sort of recent times. If you could ask Tony Stewart one question, what would it be? So you got to with Tony Stewart. What would the question be to him?
Where do you see this club in 5 years' time, Tony? That'll be my question. Because if he had to answer it, he'd go the politician route of, a thriving community club that, that can support itself and be competitive in the Football League, blah, blah, blah. But I think he knows deep down that in 5 years' time, he won't be running that. He'll not be the chairman of that club.
No, I wouldn't.
I'd like some clarity on what's happening now, to be honest with you. Because you've mentioned it before, Lee, and I agree with you. It's going to end up ruining his legacy. And that's the last thing that we want. I don't think it's going to happen, but if we were, say, let's get relegated this season, he'd pull the plug on us. I know he would.
That's my fear, that we end up the same position we was when Ken Booth, because nobody expected Ken Booth just to pull the plug and leave us. Because don't forget, Ken Booth did get us to what is now the Championship, same as what
he did,
Ronnie Stewart did, and he did give Ronnie. I know it weren't great monies, but back in the day, spending. I mean, I remember us buying Lee Glover, 150k.
Lee Glover.
Players, what we signed, what Ken Booth did, but then obviously when it all went tits up, he kind of just left us,
and
then kind of left us with no stadium. with the way the stadium is now, we don't own the stadium again.
No, I know.
So we'd be in the same position if he just pulls the plug and then say somebody else wants to buy the club. But then, I mean, at the minute, we're paying higher than some teams in the Championship for the rent at New York Stadium, which is phenomenal. So we left Millmoor because Tony Stewart said that they wanted ridiculous rent for Millmoor, if you remember.
Yep, yes,
So,
he did.
I think we're paying ridiculous rent now to our own chairman. So what's he going to charge the rent if he's not the chairman?
Exactly.
And are we going to be in the same position? Could we be in a position where we end up back at Millmoor? There's one for
a lot of purists would love that to happen. they genuinely would. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to go and stand in that Tivoli again and watch a game, because people used to be scared of us back then. But I was going to get to that, Lee, because I was listening to what you're saying there. Is there a scenario where we end up back at Millmoor, back where it all began
in League Two?
Do you know what I mean?
And that's my worry. I think the club is, it's not run very well at the moment. So what do you think of the current squad and the direction of the club? So you're happy with the squad? Are you happy with the direction of the club at the moment? Takeaway, obviously, we've had a good win at the weekend. Obviously, some fans will think you've beat Real Madrid this weekend, but we beat Northampton, which I think we've beat them in the last 6 or 7 occasions. So it wasn't a shock to me that we beat Northampton Town.
No. Direction of the club, no, I'm not happy with it. I think every man and his dog knows that. I'm not happy with it. The squad, I think there's some prospects in there. There is. I think Sam Nombe, he's inevitably going to leave us, be it January or the end of the season, which will be a massive blow. We need defenders, basically, and I'm saying it again, and I'll probably get pelters for it.
Raggett should be back as well, I've been
told. We need Raggett. We also need Raggett to stay fit, don't we? Squad direction, no, I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with the backroom staff. I'm not happy with the boardroom. Like you said, Lee, we beat Northampton, not Real Madrid. We should expect to beat teams like Northampton. We shouldn't go get in. We've beaten Northampton. We should expect to beat them. And it's great that we've won away. We've got that hoodoo off us back, but I'm sure we'll be back again next time we go away. Blah, blah, blah. I certainly don't think, and like I say, until he proves me wrong, that we've got the right man in charge for the job. The right man in charge to lead us forward up that table. I genuinely don't think. I don't think he gets us relegated. I will say that, but I don't think he gets us anywhere near that top end. Even if we give him 3 years, I don't think he gets us anywhere near that top end at all. Yeah. I think players will move on. I think the signings of Martha and Denzel Hall are really exciting. But as they've already said, and Mr. Advertiser Blokes basically saying enjoy them while you can. It's just negative, isn't it? It's just like, oh, well, if they're going to be good, I'm just going to sell them. Right, sound. So, all in all, Lee, no, I'm not happy with the way things are at the minute, pal. And until that, I'm not going to pretend it's all okay because we beat Northampton 2-1 at the weekend. Yeah. It's not a chance. We're in the relegation zone in League One. That's our league. That is our league. We're the boys in that league, right? And currently we look like the kids. So, yeah.
So who do you rate most in the current squad, and who do you think is the most underrated?
Who do I rate most of the current squad? If we were including loans, it'd be Dan Gore, but I'm not going to include a loan player because he's never going to sign for us ever in a million years. But I rate him incredibly highly. If he can stay fit, I really like the look of Benson. I do.
I agree with you. I think
if he can stay fit, I think if Martha gets a bit of muscle on him and a bit more football intelligence, I think he could go a very, very long way, that lad. So yeah. And what was the second part? What was the second part of the question, Lee?
Who do you think is the most underrated at the club?
Underrated?
Yeah.
Underrated. I'm going to say Sean McWilliams for underrated. Yeah. I think he does a good job, Sean. This is what concerns me about the backroom staff. They nearly sold him. Yeah. they nearly got rid of him. And I think he's been okay for us. It's not been brilliant, but I think he's been okay. But then again, is okay being third bottom in League One? It's not, is it? But is that down to the players or is it down to the manager, Lee? Both, maybe.
And next one, obviously, what does it mean to be a Rotherham fan to you personally?
Personally, it's pride. I'm from Rotherham. I follow every single type of football, and I don't know. I think it's just because the memories that Rotherham have given me over the years, it sends a shiver down my spine when we do well and we're all on the same page and we're winning games. And I love taking my Rotherham shirt abroad on holiday. Not that I get abroad much, but when I do, I purposely will wear it. And no, I just, like I say, I'm Rotherham born and bred. My mum's from Rotherham, and all her family are. And yeah, I like it. I mean, I don't support any other club other than Rotherham. I know a lot of people have a second team, and that's understandable because back in the day, we weren't great. And you want a little bit of sunshine on dark days, don't you? Supporting another team, but now that'll always be my club. I keep getting accused of being a Celtic fan by everybody who lives around here because my wife's a massive Celtic fan, but I'm not. So, but no, I'm just proud to support where I'm from, Lee. Basically.
Super. Good man. So we're going to do a quick fire round before we go. So quick fire. So, home games or away games? What do you prefer?
Home.
New York Stadium or Millmore?
Millmore.
Promotion or a cup run?
Promotion.
Favourite ever Rotherham United chant?
Shit on the bastards below.
Yeah, good one. Pint or a pie?
Pint. Although the pies are amazing. Were.
Worn or Hampshire?
Worn. Yeah.
You said that through gritted teeth.
No, I'll take one. I will.
So that's going to wrap up our Meet the Millers fan edition. Thank you, Tom. You've been absolutely fantastic. Team's fantastic that you've come out with. Probably wouldn't have had Marvin Bryan in there, I'm not gonna lie, but it's your pick. And obviously, there's some really good picks in there. Hard to argue with you. I want to obviously say to everybody, this is a new sort of feature, so anybody is welcome to come on. So if you support Rotherham United, doesn't matter how long you've supported them, as long as you support them, you don't have to agree with my views or Tom's views or anybody's views. We purely support the same football team. So if you want to come on and do the same sort of thing as what Tom's done, give your best 11, let us know your best experiences of why you support Rotherham United and what the football club means to you. DM us on all our socials, send us a message to any of the guys, and we'll get back to you and we'll get you on. We're going to try and do this feature as much as we possibly can till we run out of fans. We're not that big a fan base, so we will, but we'll do something different when we run out of sort of fans to do it. But thank you for your time, Tom. And if you haven't already, keep watching. Please subscribe and share. That really do appreciate that. So thank you again for watching.